Helpers making their way out, which means that Hondas are on their way round. Harris Roberts starts on pole position with Ethan Charles alongside Thomas Potter and James Fabricius on the second row. Ralphie Branscombe and George Ralston on row 3. Tom Drake and Sam Howell, row 4. Max Wheatley and Harris Alley on row 5, with Sam Hayes starting 11th. Larry Price alongside in 12th. Harry Samuel and Lewis Hall, row 7. Isabella Stansmore Wilson and Alex Lynn in front of Mason Webster and Stanley Clark on row number 9. Row 10 sees Max Williams and Ayrton Rye. Before we go on to our runners from the B final, Jensen White starts 21st with Freddie Housego 22nd. Max Gray-Trex and Freddie Lines on row 12. Rio Wardley starts 25th alongside Alfie Forrester, with Cameron Tipping and Max Housego on row 14. Max Lewis and Joshua Owen complete a maximum grid of 30 runners then for our final. Just having a quick look at some comments coming in as well. Emma Hurst Grover is very, very happy with Harry's top 5, his best ever JKC result. She's really happy with that. Jack Collinson wishing all the Hondas good luck. He's watching with a Coca-Cola and his dad. Steve, he's got some rum in his though. Watching from Greece, and Sunbathers just saying thank you for some informative commentary and wishing all the drivers saying really good racing today. I would echo those sentiments on the good driving. It's been really, really good. We've had a nice clean day's racing here at Lydd thus far as our runners get themselves into position. Helpers making their way off. Looks like Alex Lindo might have having some problems there with the 6 getting that started, so hopefully that's all clear as he's come round. So it looks like they were having just a quick look down there at the engine on that number 6 car. Off the front row though, we've got championship leader Harris Roberts, alongside him Ethan Charles, with Potter and Fabricius on the second row. Branscombe, you can just about see the nose of his kart in 5th place. Just waiting for confirmation then that the final race of the day here from round 4 of the Cadet Kart Championship is good to go. As our track clerk makes his way to the front, points up to the red lights for the final time then here at Lydd. We're away and racing. It's a good start from the outside of the front row from Ethan Charles, but Potter I think could be well down the inside. He is for second place. Everybody makes it cleanly through the first chicane, albeit some of them bouncing over that curbs as they're 3 and 4 wide. And Potter makes the early move on Harris Roberts, and Ethan Charles is round from second place. Max Lewis and Gray-Trex is off. Mason Webster is off as well into the second chicane from 17th place. So the field split in the midfield. Drivers getting spun round there in the second chicane. That's really going to spread out the midfield pack as they make their way round for the first time in this 10-minute plus 1 lap final. Potter then leads the way from Roberts and Fabricius. They've broken away from Branscombe, Ralstrom and Drake. Ethan Charles then off the front row. The spinner in the middle part of there, he's going to come through in, well, let's have a quick look. I think he could be outside the top 20. Potter then leading the way, although not now because Roberts is down the inside and there's contact there between Potter and Roberts, and that's allowed Fabricius to come through into second place. So now it's going to be Roberts, Fabricius, Potter. Then it's Branscombe, Ralston, Drake, Hayes, Wheatley, Howell and Harris Alley, the top 10 in front of Samuel, Stansmore, Wilson, Hall, Price, Clark and Lynn in 16th, Williams, Bright, White and Wardley, the top 20. So Ethan Charles with that spin drops all the way down towards the tail of the field. There he is in 21st place. There's the field making their way through. Just about caught Ethan Charles there at the back as Fabricius catches a huge amount of curb, and that's going to allow Thomas Potter to slide down the inside into the second chicane. There's overtakes further down as well as Ralston and Drake battle it out behind Branscombe. As Potter goes slightly wide at the hairpin, will that allow Fabricius back down the inside? We'll find out in a minute when we find that they're making their way onto the back straight. No, Potter still in front of Fabricius, but they can't keep battling like this if they don't want Harris Roberts to move away. So Potter and Fabricius really need to figure out which one of them's going to lead this dance for second place. Try and close in on Harris Roberts, who now has a gap of 0.6 of a second. The driver who's won all 3 finals so far in this Cadet Kart Championship in this Honda Cadet class. As there's a spin there for Sam Hayes in the middle part of the corner. He's going to struggle to get back onto the track, and Ethan Charles, I think, is off as well. Once again, into the bark on the outside of the track. Not sure if that had anything to do with Sam Hayes rejoining the track, but Ethan Charles tipped into another spin here as they're Max Lewis and Mason Webster battle it out down that back straight towards the second chicane. They'll come over the line then. The first 3 minutes of a fairly intense Honda Cadet final sees Roberts, Potter and Fabricius leading the top three. Although Roberts is moving away at the front of this pack. Ralston, Branscombe, Drake, Wheatley, Howell, Harris, Alley and Isabella Stansmore Wilson. The top 10 in front of Samuel, Paul, Price, Clark and Williams. Terence Pearson on good luck, Jensen White. He started to move his way through now into the top 20, having started in 21st, having had to progress through from the B final. Up now into 18th place as Fabricius pushes Potter down the back straight. That's what they're going to have to do if they're going to try and close this gap up on Harris Roberts in front. Although as they come over, Roberts takes another 10 and the gap is almost up to a second. There was a contact warning up on the gantry there, don't know who it was for. Try and get to sight in a moment as the 12 of Wheatley gets down the inside of Drake. Drake though runs round the outside. Still too wide in the background. Looked like that was Larry Price trying to get down the inside into the second chicane. Ralston has a look over his shoulder. He's in 4th place. Branscombe's going to go much tighter with Tom Drake and Max Wheatley behind. Then you've got Sam Howell, who's running comfortably in 8th place. He's got a couple of tenths on Harris Alley, who's been pushed along by Isabella Stansmore Wilson. We head down towards half race distance. There is Stansmore Wilson seems to have managed to find a way. She's comfortable, so in 10th place. But look how far back that battle goes, all the way down as they still continue to cross the line. I think that was all pretty much down to White coming through in 18th as he was previously, with Alex Lynn as well. There's only 2.5 seconds then between pretty much Harris Alley. In front of him actually Sam Howell. They've got 3 seconds all the way down to Alex Lynn and Jensen White in 17th and 18th, so they are pretty much nose to tail all the way through this pack as Howell goes slightly wide into that corner. And will that allow anybody else to come down the inside? A little bit of bump in there between the 12 of Wheatley and Drake into that corner. Wheatley has the straight line speed but might not have enough to come out as Harris Alley tries to get alongside over start finish. Not sure that he was able to do so, although in the background there we see I think that looked like it was Wheatley getting through. It's pretty much split now. What was Ralston, Branscombe, Drake and Wheatley was 4 carts. It's now into 2 battles of 2. Fabricius still can't find a way past Potter. Potter with his head down behind the steering wheel. Fabricius in 3rd place. The Cadet A final, 4 minutes remaining then, so we're well beyond half race distance in this 5-10 minutes plus 1 lap, so we're down beyond the 5-minute mark. Fabricius now on the back of Thomas Potter. The gap's still 9/10 to Harris Roberts, who was eking out a gap at around about 1/10 a lap. That's sort of been stemmed now by these two in 2nd place, although they haven't been able to make inroads. Potter though very, very wide, makes a mistake down at the bottom hairpin, and James Fabricius will come through into 2nd place. Potter runs wide, bounces over the curbs, loses traction, and Fabricius is now up into 2nd place. Potter is going to ride and push Fabricius down the back straight as they aim to close up on Harris Roberts. So Fabricius then down the inside. The gap will go out to just beyond the 2nd, with Fabricius making that overtake on Thomas Potter. It's 1.2, with Harris Roberts leading the way and well on his way, in fact, to continuing a run of final victories here in the Cadet Kart Championship, with Fabricius and Potter 2nd and 3rd, Ralston and Branscombe 4th and 5th. Then they've got to get back to Drake and Wheatley. There they are, split into 2 pairs of 2s, and we're going to wait the arrival of Howell with Alley behind, and there's just a long train of carts down there until the white helmet you saw at the back. That was Jensen White, I think, coming through as well onto the back of this pack. So pretty much 10 deep in this battle, albeit they are starting to spread out a little further as they go down. Larry Price and Isabella Stansmore-Wilson side by side, and Price right the way around the outside of Stansmore-Wilson. That's going to see him up into the top 10. Wilson defended to the inside, and Larry Price goes right the way around the outside and slides through into the top 10, I think, over the line there, as now it looks like Stanley Clark has found a way past Harris Ali. That is for actually 9th and 10th, so Price will be up to 11th, but looks like he's got a lot of speed. Looks like he was trying to dive down the inside of Harris Ali there into the bottom hairpin. As Isabella Stansmore-Wilson has lost the position as well to Harry Samuel. So she is struggling and having a difficult couple of laps then. She tried to make that move down the inside. Price all the way around the outside, and there now Stansmore once again coming under pressure now from Ayrton Wright in the number 18. She may well be down to 13th place. She is. Ayrton Wright 14th with Max Williams in 15th. On the back of this, that's Alex Lynn behind Jensen White. It looked like White was going to try and make a move down the inside there of Lewis Hall. Hall closes the door into the second chicane. It's going to break away into another two pairs of twos this time, with Stanley Clark on the back of Samuel Howell, 8th and 9th respectively. Here's Potter then down the inside of Fabricius into the double right at the end of the lap. 1 minute and 20 remaining. Fabricius is going to come back. I think they've realised now that despite the fact Potter putting in that fastest lap of the race, that this is a battle for second place, because Harris Roberts is a second down the road from this one. And unless they can reel that in at a rate of around about 3/10 a lap to give themselves a fighting chance going into the final lap. And that looks like Stanley Clark, is it? Walking away, gives the tyres a boot as well. And Stanley Clark, from a top 10 finish, is heading towards retirement. There's the kart being dragged back off the track. And that is into one of the chicanes at the start of the lap. Stanley Clark heading towards retirement then. I don't know whether he's going to be able to get back in it and just take the checkered flag, but it will be ceremonial at best for Stanley Clark. From outside the top 10, he's going to be classified 30th in this Honda Cadet class. 17 seconds remaining for our leaders. Lap and a half remaining then in this one. They'll get round in a few moments. Time's going to elapse. They have started to reel in Harris Roberts, but the rate not enough, I don't think. There's the yellow flag out, so it was into the back chicane then that Stanley Clark was off. And there's not a huge amount of runoff there. As soon as the track finishes this bark, when the bark finishes, you're into the tyre wall, and that was the wall that Stanley Clark was giving a big right foot to in frustration. Over the line they come then. The gap, 0.7 of a second as they enter the last lap between Roberts, Potter and Fabricius, the top three. And Harris Roberts leading the way then, hoping to make it a quartet of final victories. Potter gets a little bit of snap oversteer on the way out of the back chicane. Closing up on the leader, that's gone now. He's going to have to fight just to hold on to second place here. Defends into the back chicane. Fabricius loses a few kart lengths, but takes it the wider line. That should give him much more speed going onto this back straight as they head down the back straight towards the final double apex right. Looks like there's a little bit of contact between the two of them. Potter defends to the inside. Roberts, though, out of the final corner. 4 from 4 in terms of finals to take the victory. Potter holds on for second. Fabricius, Branscombe and Ralston are going to be your top 5. Wheatley sets the fastest lap of the race on his way to 6th on the final lap in front of Drake. Then it's going to be Howell, Harris Ali and Larry Price completing your top 10 in front of Harry Samuel, Ayrton Wright, Isabella Stansmore-Wilson. Sam Hayes on the final lap corner there, tries to get down the inside of Freddie Lines. He can't do it and has to settle for 20th. So it's Williams in 14th, White 15th, coming through from 21st place on the grid, having come through from the B final, the highest of our B final finishes, making it up into 15th. There we have Joshua Owen crossing the line in 28th in front of Max Hausago, and then Stanley Clark will be classified in 30th place, having retired with a few laps to go in the bark on the outside of the back chicane. There then on screen, your race winner, the 45 of Harris Roberts. He's making a real habit of it this season with 4 final victories out of 4 heats so far this season. He cements his position as the championship leader. Fabricius will then go into the second half of the season in second place. I think Potter will then move up in front of Price after a strong outing here at Lydd. And Harris Roberts there, just look at the elation. The visor is up. You can see what it means to him. You can see the smile in his eyes really there from Harris Roberts as he takes victory here in round 4 of the Cadet Kart Championship at Lydd.